Next, let's do some more work with macros. And you can see that we're able to run macros before just by using that developer tab up top here and hitting the macros button. But people who are not as familiar with Excel may like an easier way to run their macros. So we can actually create buttons to do this within the document, which makes it kind of really fast and easy. So I'm going to go to my donors worksheet here. And depending on how much you already did in with this worksheet and following along with your text, you may have to unprotect your worksheet at this point. So if you do need to, you want to unprotect your worksheet so we can edit it. And then we're going to go down here, and you can see that this graphic is already created for you. It's just an arrow with a text box inside that says View Dashboard. And we're going to right click it. And then one of the options that pops up is Assign Macro. So we're going to go ahead and select that. And again, I was playing around, so I have a lot of macros right now, but you may have this one and different ones as well. So I'm going to click the Show Dashboard macro because this is the one I want it to be associated with. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And then I'm just going to select elsewhere to deselect the graphic. And then once I'm done that, if I want to, I can go back and protect my sheet again. So again, anytime I make an edit, I do have to unprotect it if I have started protecting my sheets. So usually we protect our sheets at the very end once we're all done, of course. But you can go back and forth if you need to make changes. So now what I can do is if I click this, you can see that it has become a button now when I scroll over it. And that macro is applied to the button. So this is where it starts to get more fun. So using the developer and the macro button there is fine, but if you're not savvy with Excel, then you may find this really confusing. Whereas if I see a button that says View Dashboard and I click it, it's going to take me to the dashboard. So that's, I think, a really fun way to go ahead and use that. Now, the other thing is that your textbook does recommend saving your workbook after you finish each macro. So obviously you don't want to save it if the macro doesn't work. So if you've made a mistake and it's not working, then you can just close out of your workbook without saving it and kind of start over fresh again. But once you have a macro that you like that works correctly, you do want to save it after that so that it stays with your workbook, of course. So that's just a little recommendation there. Now, if you're following along in your text as well, you can kind of keep going and they'll have you create a couple more macros and play around with linking it to buttons as well. So give that a try and I'll check you out in the next video.